So tell everybody about why you're in Bali. Tell us about Soulshine for a moment, and then we're going to go through your musical history,
Sure.
some
So
of your
I
career.
own a little hotel here. It's a yoga and wellness hotel called Soulshine Bali. And my wife and I were leading a yoga and music retreat last February when the pandemic hit. And we just decided to stay on. And uh, we were supposed to go out on tour for 175 shows in 2020, and it all got canceled. And then I had built this hotel with the thinking that if music ever goes cold, I'll have a hotel, another business to fall back on financially. Little did I know that there would be a global freaking pandemic in that plan. And so the hotel went empty too. So it's been an incredible journey here of just, um, you know, some days are really great, some days are not so good. And my wife and I are just always trying to keep the lights on for each other, hearts and minds. And we've just learned so much that wellness isn't about like, did I eat an organic salad and go to a yoga class once a week? It's really about how we feel and are we happy and feeling good every day.
Wow. So, in fact, social wellness. We tend to get focused on the personal wellness side. Did I sleep? Did I eat? Did I work out? But social wellness, I think, is something we've learned in
Yeah.
the pandemic is the need to connect with other people,
Mm-hmm.
the need to gather. So let's
Yeah.
talk about your history. You and I first got to know each other like more than 30 years ago when
Yeah.
you would bring your band members from, I think, Philly to
Yeah.
San Francisco to stay at my first hotel, the Phoenix. And so take us through your history because your story is pretty interesting. Most musicians, if they didn't have their breakout success in their 20s, 30s, or 40s, they don't necessarily expect it to come in their 50s. Not
Yeah.
to say you haven't had success, you absolutely have, but your biggest success has been in your 50s. So tell us
Yeah.
about that.
Well, I was born in a unique family. My biological mother is Irish, German, and Belgian, and my biological father is African American and Nottoway Indian. But I was adopted into the Franti family, who were second generation immigrants from Finland to America, and they had three kids of their own. And then they decided to adopt myself, another African American son, and just to round out the whole family, I have one sister who's a lesbian and one brother who's a police officer. So we're like this crazy mix, all different sizes, shapes, and colors, and my mom was a school teacher. Both my parents were educators. My father was an alcoholic most of my childhood. So by the time I got out into the world and moved to San Francisco, I had so much, in my life that was, I was trying to figure out. And I moved to San Francisco, which, as you know, is kind of like the land of misfit toys. If you have a button for an eye, like you're gonna fit in San Francisco, and I found music. And when I first started writing music, I would write social issues because I felt so much internal like anger and didn't hadn't found a place to put it yet. And so all this misplaced anger about my childhood and not knowing where I was from and never knowing who my parents were and all this stuff, it went into writing songs about social issues. And as I started, it was really just punk rock and hip hop. And then we had a song called Television, the Drug of the Nation, that got seen by U2. And this was in my second band, the Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy. And we were just driving around a little white van. Pretty soon we're on tour with U2 opening up for them. And they used our song Television, the Drug of the Nation to open up their shows each night. And so I went from like playing in little teeny punk rock clubs to like playing for 50,000 people. And while I was doing that, I saw the power of melody. Like I would see Bono just like start singing a song. He'd hold the mic up to the crowd and they'd just go, yo, and everyone would sing along. And I remember just that feeling of like tears welling up in my eyes and just like I'm trembling, I'm sweating, and just the power of melody. And so I started to write differently. I started to write about things that were inside my heart and giving voice to my emotions. And that really changed the trajectory of my career. And then when I was already about 15 or 20 years into making music, and I was just rapping and using, electronic instruments. I picked up a guitar one day And then there was like a whole nother chapter in my career of writing songs from the guitar. And then 2010, I had written this song. So I started in 1987 touring. 2010, I had this song called Say Hey, I Love You that goes like this. I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back coming round the way. It seemed like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing, that I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And we put out the song in the fall of 2009. It got a little bit of radio airplay. And it was our first song that had any radio airplay. We were like, yeah, this is awesome. And then it went away, and it just had a couple weeks. And then the next spring, someone heard it on their vacation in Mexico. And the guy was a radio programmer, and he put it on the radio on a top 40 station in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And it was just like one of those things where all the phones start lighting up. Everybody likes this song. Pretty soon it's in movies and commercials. And so, 23 years into making music, I finally had like a top 10, pop song. And yeah.
And since then, I think if I'm not mistaken, you've had a top 1 pop song.
So last year, right when the pandemic hit, we put out an album, and we were like, oh man, like it's kind of a bad time to be putting out a record. but I wrote this song called I Got You, and it goes like this. I got a feeling deep within my soul, and right now I really need to let you know that each time I've fallen down inside that hole, you came and showed me there's a way to go, so we can love deeper, fly higher, see clearer, burn bright, feel more than we ever did before. Yeah, we can swim oceans, climb mountains, dance like nobody's watching, live life like we never did before. And through the highs and lows, baby, I got you, yeah. And you got me, yeah, baby, I got you, yeah. And you got me, yeah. And lo and behold, the song went to #1 on the radio, and I just turned 55 last week. So it's been this incredible journey of having success, in my 50s, when I remember being a kid thinking, oh, 50, man, like life is over. Like you're tapping out, you're gray, you're bald, like there's no point in going on. You're watching TV the rest of, and that's but I found that, the opposite is true, which is that it's just all about how you decide to live your life, and that the number attached to that year is really insignificant.
So I want to drill down on that a little bit, Michael. So when it comes to software engineers, they're supposed to be over the hill in Silicon Valley after 35. Fashion models, often the same case. Advertising executives, there's a lot of news out there about the fact that there aren't many ad executives who are Gen Xers or boomers. And as a performing musician, did people give up on you? Did music labels give up on you? Did PR agencies give up on you because Michael's sort of on the last part of his career, and of course then you shocked them? I mean, talk about that, because ageism exists. Let's talk about ageism for a moment.
Yeah, well, pop music is a young people's idiom, really, and so there is that kind of ageism. But at the end of the day, if a song is cool and people can dance to it, they're hearing it, and if it resonates, it's possible for it to go. But the cool thing with music is that when I was a kid going to my first concert, it was like this rite of passage. I'm 17 years old. We all pile into like a friend's family station wagon. Everybody gets drunk. They're throwing up at the concert, and we're lucky we didn't crash the car on the way home. And that is like the way that it was done. But in my career, I've always encouraged family participation at my shows. So we have families who have been coming since I was in my 20s, and now they're in their 50s, and they bring their children and their grandchildren to the shows. And so I've always made it be that my relationship was not with record labels. It was not with radio stations. It was going to be with the people who came to our shows. And that's my commitment. And so it's been really amazing to just see the front row in the show at the shows, you know, like when we have a hit song, it's like now there's a new batch of, you know, 20-year-olds in the front row, and they just keep getting older.
So talk about having spent a lot of time with you and been at Soulshine with you, the power of creativity and play is and just having fun is really part of who you are. If you were to give some advice to people who are watching right now, you know, what do you advise them, or what do you advise them when they come to Soulshine?
Well, my wife and I have a saying. It's inside of our wedding rings, and it's be your best, serve the greater good, and rock out wherever you are. And
you had your wedding at the Phoenix.
At the Phoenix, yeah.
My hotel. Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
So when we got married, that was our commitment. It was like, try to do something every day to reach your growing edge, you know, whatever that is, and get yourself into uncomfortable positions where you can learn. And then secondly, take what you've learned and earned and apply it to serving that which is greater than yourself. And then rock out wherever you are means never lose that enthusiasm for life, that approach that you feel like when you go to a rock concert, or when you go, rock climbing for the first time, or fall in love, and approach everything with that energy. And that's how my wife and I live. We wake up every day and we go, you know, we ask each other those things, you know, who did you make feel significant today? Or did you learn something about yourself that you never knew? And, and then my father recently passed away just a few weeks ago, my biological father. And it was really hard because I was here I have a 2.5-year-old. My wife was actually away for 6 weeks. And so I was alone with the 2.5-year-old, and I never knew my biological father. I'd only met him half a dozen times. On the times when I did, it was really challenging to try to get to know him. He was very distant, and to be here with my son during that time, and to know that, you know, all the time that I was spending with him, you know, brushing the teeth, putting him to bed, waking up in the morning with him, getting him fed, getting him to school, whatever, it was like this really healing thing for me to know that I was able to be there for my son in a way that my father wasn't, and also sort of like break this family cycle of dads who aren't showing up. Mm-hmm. And so this, you know, being a father at this point in my life has really, you know, like what Anderson was saying, it's really changed who I am. And I have 2 adult sons, one who's 34 and one who's 22. And it's been really powerful to go through this journey with them as well. And then seeing me being this dad, and they're right about that age now where they're thinking of creating families and stuff. And it's this year has been really remarkable of showing just how these highs and lows bring out the truth in you, and it's there for you to then start to look at. I was actually writing a song about it yesterday. I'll play a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
This is brand new. Nobody's heard this. It goes like this. So it's about having some really great days and some not great days. It goes like this. Life is amazing, then it sucks, then it's amazing again. Life is amazing, then it sucks, then it's amazing again. So don't you worry what tomorrow brings, or yesterday, my friend. Life is amazing, then it sucks, then it's amazing again. They say the sky is the limit, but there's footsteps on the moon. They say that if you try, you can win it, but you can also fall down too. People say I'll have time in a minute, but the minutes all pass too soon. So I thank God for every second that I get to dance with you. Life is amazing, then it sucks, then it's amazing again. Life is amazing, then it sucks, then it's amazing again. So don't you worry what tomorrow brings or yesterday, my friend. Life is amazing, then it sucks, then it's amazing again.
Woohoo! Love it. Thank you, Mike. That's first time being heard by an audience.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So let's do a little bit of a wrap and talk about Soulshine and as well as
Yeah.
MEA. We can talk about both because here, who would have known the two of us would go and create our own little personal growth retreat centers.
It's so
Um,
cool.
so and then we'll have one last song. Um,
Yeah.
so tell us about Soulshine. Tell us. I know you do lots of workshops there. It's also a
Yeah.
hotel, but it's very much focused on yoga as well. And
Yeah.
tell
So
us
we
tell us about
do,
your practice.
yeah. So we do about 45 different yoga retreats a year here. There's just different teachers from around the world who come and take over the space. We also have a new restaurant and day club. And so it's about having deep and powerful and emotional experiences, but I also believe that it's just as important to sort of be able to zip it up later and
Mhm.
have, you know, fun and have music and have drumming and dancing and celebration be a part of it. And throughout all the work that I've done in, you know, through therapy, through yoga, through my own personal journey of songwriting and dealing with my emotions and giving voice to what I feel in those ways, I've learned that it's super important to be able to have fun and to be able to laugh, and that's like the state that we want to get to. And so our place is dedicated to that. We say we're 100% healthy 90% of the time. And there's that 10% where it's like, hey, we're gonna have a cocktail, or hey, we're gonna have a extra piece of cake here, or we're gonna turn up the music way too loud for half an hour and everybody's just gonna dance with abandon, and um, so that's what this place is dedicated to. We're also an organic farm. We farm 3 different kinds of rice. We have 30 different types of fruit trees here. We have all kinds of vegetables. So it's farm to table here. And the thing that we're most proud of, though, is that we are have an incredible team of people here from the Balinese community, and it's so special to be in Bali, where there's so much reverence and so much prayer, and whenever there's a meeting, it starts with prayer and it ends with prayer, and some days they'll just say, "Hey, Michael, it's ceremony today. Show up at 9 o'clock," and the whole staff comes to meditate together. And it's Bali is a very unique place in that way. With they say that there's this sort of like a triangle between humans and each other, humans and nature, and humans and spirit, and that when you connect all those 3 things, that you can find happiness. And um, the Balinese people really really live that. And so it's just, we feel super blessed to be in this place where that's a part of us every day.
Do you think, as last question, and then we'll go to a song.
Sure.
So let's look out 10 years. You're 65. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think you'll be still on the road, playing concerts? And or will you be spending more time at Soulshine in Bali?
Both.
Yeah.
I love playing music, and so even if it's just playing music for a few friends and a guitar, like I was doing last night, or we have 4 shows at Red Rocks coming up in the first week of June in Colorado for 10,000 people, and either one, I still get the same like sensation, feeling, rush, tears, whatever. One time I was at uh, Glide Memorial Church in San Francisco, and Cecil Williams is preaching, an incredible preacher. And he said, joy is the intersection between the human and the divine. And that's why sometimes when you feel joy, you laugh. Sometimes when you feel joy, you cry. And it's just that those moments of connecting. And that's what I get from music, is feeling that intersection between the human and the divine. So yeah, I'll be doing it. And then my wife and I love hospitality. I mean, you have this same bone in your body, which is like you know, I love like making food for people. I love singing a song for people. I love doing something that, you know, can put a smile on someone's face or be a soft landing place for somebody when they're going through a rough time. And so that's what Soulshine is dedicated to.
Mm. Michael, let's finish off with one last song.
Sure. All right, this is another song that I've written during the pandemic, and it's just about the need to have good days. And it goes like this. Why does everybody in the world seem so divided? And why does everybody gotta hate each other? Who decided? If I took all the world's pride and all the world's money and wrapped it in a blanket and put it in a buggy, could you see that maybe that baby was just the same as you are? You know, it's never been easy. Every day for everybody ain't breezy. And I hope you realize when you look into another person's eyes, you know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. You know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. With a little more love and a little more laughter, a little more good vibes, less disaster. You know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. All day long. All day long. Good days, please come more often. Everybody's in the streets out coughing. Smog in the air, gonna send it to your coffin. Plastic everywhere down there with the dolphins. Everybody was born to a mama, so everybody is connected like karma. So disconnect yourself from the drama. Everybody's trying to heal like trauma. You know it's never been easy. Every day for everybody ain't breezy. And I hope you realize when you look into another person's eyes, you know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. Put your hands together, y'all. Know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. With a little more love and a little more laughter, a little more good vibes, less disaster. You know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. Sing along with me. And I say, hey, hey, put all my troubles to the side. And I say, hey, hey, thank God that we're alive. Everybody say, hey, hey, put all of my troubles to the side. And I say, hey, hey, thank God that we're alive. You know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. You know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. With a little more love and a little more laughter, a little more good vibes, less disaster. You know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. Everybody on your feet now. Are you ready? I want to see you dancing in your living room all day. Hey, hey, put all of my troubles to the side and I say, hey, hey, thank God that we're alive. And I say, hey, hey, put all of my troubles to the side and I say, hey, hey, thank God that we're alive. You know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. You know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. With a little more love and a little more laughter, a little more good vibes, less disaster. You know today would be a very good day just to have a good day. All day long.
Oh, Michael, I love you.
I love you too, man.
I feel so lucky we have such a history. Um, thank you for joining us from Bali. It's early morning there. It was not easy for you. It's a Sunday morning, so like, come on, like you just were, you came through. So thank you very much.
This is church for me, man. This is it.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Man, I hope we could do something together very soon.
Well, actually, just so everybody knows, while we don't have the workshop calendar up, we'll have it up by the end of July. Michael Franti is going to be coming to MEA and doing a workshop with me at MEA in early January of 2022. So there you go. Just keep an eye on it. It's early 2022, but we'll have the calendar up on the website like by Modern Elder Academy website by end of July. All right.
Awesome.
And I'm coming there to you then. And then, so then we're going to do a workshop at your place. So
Yeah, it's Soulshine.
yeah, exactly. All right. Love you.
I love you too.
Let's bring Soren back. Isn't this amazing, Soren? We're on time. Like, who would guess?
On time.
We're on time, and it's been a full 3 hours. We still have 14 minutes left, but don't leave yet, guys, because guess what? There's a few last thoughts we're going to sort of percolate. And so we're gonna do that, and yeah. So
Well, I
first of
think,
all,
a couple key highlights, I think, Chip, from you would be wonderful. One of the things that really, today is a really good day to have a good day. There's a couple phrases that Michael Franti said, and just the spirit of the musician and the artist, and how life moves through him at any age. He's going to be doing that at 99, I think. He's going to be right.
I think so too.
Such a great example.
Yeah, and when I was interviewing for my book, Wisdom at Work, The Making of a Modern Elder, I was interviewing an executive recruiter and talking about ageism. And what she said to me was interesting. She said, when someone shows up for a job interview, assuming they get asked for one, and they show up with curiosity and a passionate engagement for life, what people don't notice is they don't notice your wrinkles. They notice your energy. Yeah. And I think all of our speakers today were really full of beautiful energy, and at any age. So maybe our energy for how far we can walk might be a little bit less, but our energy for how we use our heart and our soul, or how we, to quote Cecil Williams, that Michael quoted, how we seek the joy, and joy is at that intersection of the human and the divine. My first company was called Joie de Vivre.
Definitely a theme that moved through me, and Eileen talking about kind of simplicity and really doing the few things really, really well. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really such a valuable lesson about, like, as we get older, to really clarify, like, what is it that matters to us. And I think Paul and Jasmine talking about regeneration and what it means to really not only regenerate the soil, but regenerate the soul.
Exactly.
That? And I think, Anderson's perspectives on kind of living in the moment and what it means to kind of have a kid and to be present for that kid and to do all these like travels, but they don't really mean anything if we're not really there with those moments. So those are some of the things that stuck out with me. And I just really hope that everybody here also took away kind of nuggets of wisdom. And I'm also curious to ask you, what's up next in the MEA world? Like, how are you seeing the months ahead? What's exciting for you?
Oh man, well, we've got the Santa Fe location, but that won't open until 2023, and that's exciting. But the thing that I think people might most be interested in is something called MEA Online. In the breakouts, we heard some people talk about that. It's a 8-week course, and so we'll send in the next few days. We're going to send you 3 things. We're going to send you a recording of this, so you can keep that as a keepsake for today. And for those of you who are not watching this, of course, you're now watching it because we sent the recording to everybody. Number 2 is an essay called "The Anatomy of Transitions," because Soren, we go through so many transitions in midlife. I mean, you become an empty nester, you get divorced, you're doing the sandwich generation, taking care of parents and kids at the same time. You go through menopause, men go through andropause, you change career, you change where you live. And we have no rites of passage or rituals for helping people through the transitions of midlife. So that's what we're doing. The MEA Online course is an 8-week course focused on helping you to create your roadmap for transitions, and helping you to understand how to master what we call TQ, transitional intelligence. So we're excited about that. So you get some more information on that. You get actually even a coupon code for a $75 discount for that program. So people should just keep an eye on the emails that'll go out. What about you? So what's next for Wisdom 2.0?
You know what? I really enjoy this 3-hour format. I really think it's a nice kind of like sink in. And so I'm in my own transition, Chip. However the universe wants to use me, but I think in terms of kind of the Wisdom 2.0 world, we'll be doing more of these on different topics. And if we can do another one on revision midlife, that would be great. I'm really interested in other topics as well: healing trauma. How do we like mindfully engage with technology? So I think having some of these kind of touch base things that actually build community to me, that's a really important thing. And I'm hoping I can do more stuff with you together. And I'm looking forward to the time we can all gather. And I know that's hopefully pretty soon. I don't know when the Baja place will open for in-person retreats. Do you have a date yet?
We are open now for what are called sabbatical sessions, which are, it's very lighter programming, but our actual workshops start again after Thanksgiving. And Paul Hawken will be there. Lynn Twist will be there in December.
Wow.
Paul Hawken will be there. Dacker Keltner will be there in December. Michael Franti takes us into the new year. Matthew Ricard is going to be there. And Mark Nepo. I mean, it's Ashton Applewhite. There's quite a dynamic lineup, but you won't see it on the Modern Elder Academy website until the latter part of July.
But if you're here, that means you'll get updates from Wisdom 2.0 and MEA. So if you're trying to write this down, don't worry about it.
Right.
We will keep you updated. And again, I think one of the things that bonds kind of Chip and I is it's really the community that makes anything thrive. I mean, we can put together a great event and great speakers, whatever, but it's actually you and your heart and your spirit and your willingness and your intention that's really like the gas of any movement. And so I know, when Chip and I talk about both of our efforts, one of the themes that I notice we both talk about is we do this for the people that come. Like we're energized by the fact that we're a part of a community of authenticity and of learning and of creativity, and that we all share a vision for a world, and that world has greater compassion, and that world has greater wisdom, and that greater world has greater unity. And so I feel like, a big thanks, I know, from both of Chip and I, for all of you for showing up and bringing your hearts and minds. And we'll keep learning from you. I mean, I learn from speakers, but I also just learn so much from this community. And I think the fact that, Chip, you've made a kind of an in-person gathering community and now an online community are both just real good expressions. But to me, if I kind of leave us on one thing, it's just, what does community look like? And how do we live our life making friends along the way and having quality time with people? To me, that's so much of the journey. To me is the quality of friendships. If you could say, okay, I'll give you, $10 billion for your friends, I'd be like, no way. Like my friends and the community is like the greatest gift I could have received. And I think Jasmine spoke to that when she came to the MEA, or people come to Wisdom 2.0 and they're like, oh man, the community, the people I meet, the connections I made. So my vision going forward is just, we can all create more moments of like that, whether it's in Baja, in Santa Fe, in San Francisco, or at a dinner somewhere. I mean, that to me is my kind of North Star these days.
Yeah, I think, my last thought is yoga and meditation went from hippy dippy in the 60s and 70s to becoming mainstream. I think intentional community in terms of not just, but both in virtual, but also in person, intentional community, which also sounded like kibbutzes and communes in the 60s and 70s. Obviously kibbutzes way before that, are going into the mainstream, because one of the lessons we have from COVID is we want to be discerning, a great word for wisdom. We want to be discerning about who we spend our time with and what the ethos is of the communities in which we spend our time. Yeah. So thank you for joining us for this community gathering, a joint one between Wisdom 2.0 and MEA. It's really exciting. We'll do more of this. And for those who want to drop off now, feel free to drop off. We'll stay on for a little while as people, if you want to stay on a little bit longer. But thank you very much. It took a lot of work. I want to say a huge thank you to the team behind the scenes. Yes. John and Scott and Carrie and Leslie and what's her name? E.T.? E.T., yeah. E.T. And a bunch of other people. Neil. These are the people who pulled this off. It's a free event. And so we really appreciate you respecting how much work goes into pulling something like this off.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the people. And just, I think with any event, it's like, to whatever extent we can all go from here and pass it on in whatever way, that's good. And if you can hug the person that you live with or give a hand on the back or a smile, I think that would be my, that's what I'm going to try and do tonight. I'm going to go see my father who's 80. And, to whatever extent we can kind of take this and make this a momentum, bring this into whatever world we can. And I can, Chip, also deep bow to you for just the vision. And I know putting together a center and putting a team together in foreign different countries and coming up with this name, Modern Elder, when everyone's like, what are you talking about? No. A deep bow for you for really championing what midlife can be, and creating a community and a force for that. And I respect that, and I know how hard it must have been to kind of, particularly in the early days, to get something started when maybe not a lot of people got the idea then.
Yeah, I just remember my friends who passed away, and that's what gives me strength, because they didn't have a roadmap in midlife. And so great to be here. Love all of you. Enjoy. Some of you can stay around if you want, but we're going to wrap up now, because it's been almost 3 hours. So
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, if you want to hang out, you can hang out. And if you need to go, blessings, and love the people you're with. And this is a good day to have a good day. So to whatever extent you can.
It's a good day to have a good day. Exactly. Thank you.